this
For 3
cannot be
decades,
all that you
people
have.
around the
Is there
world have
other
waited
stuff
for
that
the
you
full
just have
story.
not shown?
We believed
He has
we
a baby
understood the
by a
saga of
woman that
Tupac
was
Shakur and
dating
Biggie
Tupac.
Smalls.
Wow.
We thought
To
it
add
was
to it,
simply a
but we
feud
had to
between
cut
the
it
East
down.
Coast and West Coast hip-hop scenes, a battle of cities and crews. But the reality, as revealed in 50 Cent's latest Netflix documentary, The Reckoning, is far more complex and darker than anyone ever imagined. This isn't just a retelling of familiar events. 50 Cent uncovers secrets that were hidden in plain sight for years, from ghost-written confessions to secret bounties, and even a disturbing obsession with a rival's partner. The history of this era goes beyond music. It's about power, manipulation, and personal vendettas that turn deadly. One of the most shocking revelations concerns what 50 Cent calls the ghostwriter's trap. To understand it, we need to travel back to 2001. At that time, Sean Combs, better known as Diddy, was at the pinnacle of his career. He had wealth, influence, and a string of hits dominating the charts. One of his most popular songs during this period was Let's Get It. Many fans remember the catchy beat and the flashy video, where Diddy dances through the city like a king. But there was a hidden story behind the song that remained unknown, until 50 Cent exposed it. 50 Cent admitted that he wrote Diddy's verses for that track. Ghostwriting is common in the music industry, so that alone might not seem shocking. But the real bombshell is what he put in the lyrics. According to 50 Cent, he intentionally inserted secrets about Diddy's involvement in violent incidents and East Coast-West Coast conflicts. In other words, while Diddy thought he was delivering a standard rap verse, he was actually confessing actions that would later have serious implications. Lines like, "I wasn't around, but I was like East Coast, West Coast" were more than boasts about fame. They were coded references to real-life murders and gang involvement. Diddy had unknowingly admitted to funding and influencing violence on both sides of the country, all while thinking he was just rapping a catchy song. Another verse reads, "Send the cops, the day, and the feds to come get me." At the time, it seemed like a playful, braggadocious line. Today, it looks like a haunting foreshadowing. 50 Cent describes it as a subconscious confession, a trap he set that would echo decades later. On television interviews, 50 Cent laughed about how he tricked Diddy into rapping lines that might have predicted his future encounters with the law. It highlights 50 Cent's unique approach. He's not only a rapper but a strategic thinker who plans for the long term, carefully observing and recording details that others overlook. But the story isn't limited to music or ghostwriting. 50 Cent also delves into a personal and twisted side of Diddy's life, specifically his relationship with Sarah Chapman. Most people know Sarah as the mother of Diddy's daughter, Chance Combs, born in 2006. However, before Chance, Sarah had a life that included a relationship with Tupac Shakur in 1995. Tupac was fresh out of prison at the height of his fame and the face of Death Row Records. Photographs from that period show Tupac and Sarah together in Las Vegas, smiling and appearing happy. According to 50 Cent, Diddy's later relationship with Sarah wasn't just coincidental. He claims it was a calculated conquest. Diddy had a pattern of pursuing people who had previously been involved with his rivals, using these relationships to assert dominance. Tupac had publicly humiliated Diddy in songs and interviews. By becoming involved with Sarah and having a child with her, Diddy was, in a sense, taking a trophy from his greatest enemy. This act went beyond rivalry or competition. It was psychological warfare, a demonstration of control and supremacy. 50 Cent suggests this behavior reveals Diddy's deeper obsession with power and winning, showing a side of him that is manipulative and relentless. The narrative then shifts to one of the most infamous nights in hip-hop history, September 7, 1996, in Las Vegas. The city was buzzing with excitement for the Mike Tyson fight at the MGM Grand. Tupac, alongside Death Row Records' Suge Knight, had front-row seats. Tyson's fight with Bruce Seldon ended in a swift knockout, fueling the high-energy atmosphere. Tupac was exhilarated, celebrating and soaking in the adrenaline. However, trouble lurked just beyond the arena. In the lobby, Tupac's attention was drawn to Orlando Anderson, a member of the Southside Compton Crips. A few months earlier, Anderson's crew had allegedly robbed one of Tupac's associates, taking a death row chain. A significant insult in gang culture, akin to stealing a flag from a soldier. Tupac didn't hesitate. He approached Anderson, confronted him, and threw a punch. What followed was a chaotic beatdown, involving Tupac's entire crew and Suge Knight, happening in plain view of bystanders and cameras. Security eventually intervened, but the incident set the stage for an escalating feud that would eventually cost lives. Later that night, Tupac returned to his hotel room at the Luxor to change before heading to a charity event at a club called 662. He was dressed in a green basketball jersey, adorned with jewelry, ready to make a public appearance. He joined Suge Knight in a convoy of luxury cars, cruising the Las Vegas Strip with music blaring. The moment was almost surreal in its calmness, a brief pause before disaster. Around 11:15 p.m., the convoy stopped at a red light at Flamingo Road and Koval Lane. Tupac, standing through the sunroof, interacted with fans nearby. Suddenly, a white Cadillac glided alongside their vehicle. There was no warning, no exchange of words, only the sound of gunfire. 13 shots rang out, hitting Tupac 4 times, twice in the chest, once in the arm, once in the thigh. One bullet pierced his lung. Suge Knight was injured by a fragment to his head. The Cadillac sped away, disappearing into the chaos of traffic. Despite severe damage to their vehicle, including shredded tires, Suge managed to drive a mile before the car finally gave out, sparks flying from the rims. This violent moment became a turning point in hip-hop history, marking the start of a chain of events that led to both Tupac's and Biggie's untimely deaths. What 50 Cent's documentary does is peel back layers that were never fully revealed before. From calculated manipulations in the studio to personal vendettas played out in relationships and public confrontations, The Reckoning exposes a hidden narrative filled with ambition, strategy, and dangerous obsessions. It's a story about more than music. It's about power, revenge, and the human tendencies that drive people to extreme actions. For years, fans have speculated, debated, and created theories about what really happened. Now, thanks to 50 Cent, we see a detailed, chilling account that connects the dots between fame, rivalry, and deadly consequences. The documentary isn't just about reliving the past. It's about understanding the complex and often dark motivations behind the most notorious events in hip-hop history. By revealing these truths, 50 Cent forces the world to reconsider everything it thought it knew about Tupac, Biggie, Diddy, and the West Coast-East Coast feud. The stories of ghost-written confessions, calculated relationships, and violent confrontations are no longer hidden. They remind us that fame and power can mask manipulation, and that sometimes, the most influential figures are not only shaping music but also the lives and deaths of everyone around them. Police arrived just seconds after the shooting. Officer Chris Carroll was the first to reach Tupac's car. When he opened the door, he saw the rapper covered in blood, struggling to stay conscious. The officer tried to keep him awake, repeatedly asking, "Who did this? Who shot you?" Tupac looked at him, gasping for air, took a deep breath and whispered 2 words, "Fuck you." Those were his last words. He never gave a name, never cooperated. He held his silence until he passed away 6 days later in the hospital. For years, many assumed this attack was just gang retaliation for the fight in the lobby of the MGM Grand. But new revelations have shown there was much more at play. A financial motive behind the white Cadillac. The man in the passenger seat was Dwayne Davis, also known as Kef D, Orlando Anderson's uncle, the same Orlando Tupac had confronted earlier that night. For years, Kef D was just a name whispered in rumors. But he eventually began speaking publicly, giving interviews and even writing a book. In 2023, he was arrested and charged in connection with Tupac's murder. Kef D claims he wasn't acting alone. In fact, he directly implicates Diddy. According to his account, Diddy wasn't just a music mogul. He was acting like a gang leader. Kef D says he met Diddy in Anaheim, California, when tensions between East Coast and West Coast artists were at their peak. Tupac had released songs insulting Diddy, and Suge Knight was making threats. Diddy, feeling both fear and anger, allegedly told a group of Crips that he wanted Tupac and Suge dealt with, and he offered a $1 million bounty for their heads. Think about that. $1 million in 1996, an astronomical sum. Kef D says he accepted the offer, describing it as strictly business. The East Coast-West Coast feud was already intense, but the money turned it into a deadly contract. Kef D even recalls a phone call from Diddy after the Vegas shooting. According to him, Diddy wasn't checking on anyone's safety. He asked, "Is that us?" Kef D replied, "Yes. If true, it implies that Diddy had knowledge of and perhaps approval for the murder." However, Kef D claims he never received the promised payment. The money was supposed to pass through Eric Zip Martin, a New York drug dealer with close ties to Diddy. Kef D says Zip kept the money for himself. Feeling cheated, Kef D eventually turned on those who hired him. Now, sitting in a Nevada prison, he is cooperating with authorities, and prosecutors are using his statements as key evidence. That $1 million bounty is considered a major motive for Tupac's killing. The violence didn't stop with Tupac. 6 months later, the focus shifted to Biggie Smalls. On March 9, 1997, Biggie was in Los Angeles promoting his album Life After Death. The city was tense, still reeling from Tupac's murder, and many blamed Biggie and Diddy for what had happened. Biggie's security team was alert, and one key protector was gone. Deal. He has recently become a significant source for investigators. Deal says he sensed danger and warned Diddy not to attend a party at the Peterson Automotive Museum, hosted by Vibe magazine. Despite the warning, the party went on. Around 12:30 a.m., Biggie left the event in a green GMC Suburban, sitting in the front passenger seat, relaxed and listening to his music. Diddy was leading the convoy in a separate vehicle. As they exited the parking garage onto Fairfax Avenue, they stopped at a red light on Wilshire Boulevard. A dark Chevy Impala SS approached. The driver was a black man dressed sharply in a blue suit and bow tie, not someone who looked like a street gangster. Without warning, he rolled down his window and fired 4 precise shots with a 9mm pistol. One bullet struck Biggie in the hip, fatally damaging vital organs. The car sped away into the night. Biggie was rushed to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, but despite emergency efforts, he was pronounced dead. Investigators have long debated the identity of the shooter. Some police sketches resembled Amir Muhammad, allegedly connected to corrupt LAPD officer David Mack. Another theory points to Suge Knight, who may have ordered the hit from prison. A hitman named Wardell Poochie Faust, a member of the Piru Bloods, was reportedly paid $13,000 to carry out the murder. While far less than the $1 million bounty for Tupac, the outcome was just as deadly. 50 Cent has consistently suggested that Diddy knows who killed Biggie. According to him, Diddy's awareness and involvement in the murders are deeper than previously reported. The murders of Tupac and Biggie weren't random acts of violence. They were connected, deliberate, and financially motivated. They reveal a dark side of the hip-hop world where power, rivalry, and revenge drove some of the most influential figures to deadly extremes. Puffy, or Diddy, knows who was behind Biggie's murder. Many believe he saw the shooter and understood what was happening that night. But he stayed silent. Why? Because admitting he knew would also expose his role in Tupac's death. It's a cycle of violence where one secret protects another. 50 Cent says there is even more we haven't seen. The Netflix documentary is only a glimpse. Some stories and recordings are too dangerous or graphic to show on television. One key missing piece involves rapper Kid Cudi. In 2012, Kid Cudi's car, parked in his driveway, suddenly exploded. For years, nobody knew why. Recently, Diddy's ex-girlfriend Cassie filed a lawsuit claiming he was behind it. She said he acted out of jealousy because she was interested in Kid Cudi. Like the story with Tupac and Sarah Chapman, this suggests Diddy used extreme violence to target rivals over women. 50 Cent wanted this included to show a pattern. Diddy's aggression didn't end in the 90s, it lasted for decades. There are also the freak-off tapes. According to 50 Cent, these recordings from Diddy's parties are now in federal hands. They allegedly show drugging, abuse, and other crimes beyond what anyone has heard. 50 Cent believes these tapes are the real reason Diddy is in prison. They prove that his glamorous lifestyle was built on illegal activity, not just parties. Even from jail, Diddy reportedly tried to intimidate 50 Cent. After the documentary was announced, 50 Cent received a package from him. He didn't reveal its contents but described it as creepy, a clear message that Diddy was still watching and trying to play mind games. But 50 Cent wasn't afraid. Instead, he turned it into motivation. As of December 2025, Diddy is serving a 50-month sentence for transportation for prostitution, though some sex trafficking charges were dismissed. His legal troubles are ongoing, including looming racketeering investigations. His empire has fallen, The man who once threw legendary Hamptons parties now wears a prison uniform. Meanwhile, Kef D, the hitman tied to Tupac's murder, remains in jail in Las Vegas, with a trial scheduled for February 2026. If he testifies against Diddy, it could confirm the $1 million bounty and link Diddy directly to the crime. 50 Cent sees this as a vindication. For years, people thought he was just trolling Diddy online making jokes, but he was connecting the dots. The mystery of Tupac and Biggie is no longer unsolved. The evidence is clear. Ghostwritten confessions, secret relationships, eyewitnesses, and hired hitmen. It wasn't just a rap feud. It was a calculated, paid series of murders driven by ego, obsession, and money. After 30 years of hiding, Diddy's past has finally caught up. The music is over, and the reckoning has arrived.